company known as Natural Living, which also is a natural living company. What does it exactly do, and what is the process? How does it work?
Our organization promotes natural living. That means going back to the nature in our living style, in terms of our oneself, in terms of our home environment. Now, the process is that you basically sign up with the organization. Once you sign up with the organization, then the organization will facilitate you in terms of promoting and bringing natural living into your own lifestyle and also in your home, so that you start following natural living or going back to nature in every aspect of your life, in terms of eating, in terms of sleeping, in terms of bathing, in terms of doing your work, in terms of your sitting postures, sleeping postures. So all aspects, in terms of interacting with your children, in terms of developing taste for natural foods. So all these aspects is what our organization stands for and promotes. So I can give you one example. How it is done is that once you sign up, then after that we will make an assessment in terms of your lifestyle as well as your home environment, and how far you are still doing natural living practices, and how much have you deviated from the natural living practices. Once we make the assessment, then the intervention is done by the expert and the experienced people of natural living, and they will help you in bringing coming back to the natural living. And after 1 month or after 15 days, again the reassessment will done. So this whole process of reassessment and intervention will continue periodically, so that you start seeing the result in terms of your energy level going up, in terms of some of your body and mind becoming at ease, and your disease starts to fade away slowly. So, and then that will motivate you further. So this is what our company do.
Would you say natural living, the process, or natural living as a medical term, and your company, is it related to Ayurveda?
Actually, it is not Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a science of medicine, where natural living is living naturally. There is no use of, in Ayurveda we use herbs to treat a disease. In case of natural living, there is no treatment given per se, but the body is put to ease. And once the body is put to use, the natural healing ability of the body itself start working. So it is different from Ayurveda. Ayurveda is something similar to like TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, where some herbs are used. Again, one can say that these herbs are natural medicines, but they are still medicines. Whereas in case of natural living, it is basically the food which we do and the lifestyle which we follow. So it is definitely very close to the nature, and there is no herbs or external things which we input into our body.
So, before I take up a natural living course, do I need to stop my present treatment, be it Ayurveda or allopathy, or the present natural living treatment that I'm going through?
Okay, first of all, natural living is not a treatment. Natural living is changing your lifestyle, changing your habits, so that your body is put to ease, and then the self-healing property of the body starts working. So it is not a treatment. So whether you are currently using any allopathic treatment or homeopathic treatment or Ayurveda treatment, or be it traditional Chinese medicine or a Unani medicine system or any system, so it does not come in way of any of these treatments, because it is basically going back to nature. For example, the way you should sleep, the way you should take bath, the way you should eat your food has nothing to do with your medicines. So you can continue your existing treatment as it is there will be no need to change that aspect. But once the healing happens, maybe you may not require that treatment thereafter. But to answer your question, no, you don't have to basically stop once you start practicing natural living. So
What options does one have for orienting to natural living?
okay, naturopath. In fact, this there is a science called naturopathy, and there are many naturopathy park available in different parts. In fact, there are many of them are there in India, and also elsewhere also are there, in US also there, or in Europe also there. So what do you do is that you go into this naturopathy park and you spend 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then there you are living in the controlled environment, and there are naturopathy experts who will guide you, and you will be living there, you will be taking their food, they will make an assessment for you, and accordingly they will prescribe how your corrective course should take place. Now this is one way of doing it, and some of them, there are again different grades of naturopathy park available. So people go there and they also get a lot of benefit from them. Many of my friends go them very regularly also, like twice a year they will go there, and they will feel very excited when they go there, and because they start seeing the result. When they start seeing the result, and when they come back, they are so charged up, they start talking to everybody in naturopathy practice. For example, the current chief minister of Delhi, when he came to power, he was having a lot of cough, and the prime minister recommended him to go to a naturopathy park, and he actually went there for about 10 days or 2 weeks. He stayed there, and he got a lot of benefits. To that extent, immediately after this Punjab election, again he has gone back to the same naturopathy park. So this is one option which is available. Second option is like what our organization offers, is bringing natural living to home, bringing naturopathy to your home. That means we make assessment, and in your current lifestyle itself you can start following it. Maybe it is not a controlled environment like naturopathy park, but then you are doing this natural living throughout the year. So once your habits gets changed, once your home environment becomes natural, then the benefit of this is much more and much lasting.
How is the organization Natural Living different from the others out there?
So in this particular case, our objective is to bring natural living to your home and to your lifestyle so that it is sustainable. And here we do repeated interventions by a natural living expert as well as natural living practitioner. We also encourage interaction among peers. Say for example, your friend who has gone through this natural living process and who is like 3 months ahead of you, when you talk to that person, your motivation level goes up. This person could able to get the result, because initially when you start, you are always doubting whether the result will come or not. But when you see and when you talk to a friend or a person similar to you who was having the same difficulty, and then after practicing for 2 or 3 months you find that he or she has got some results, this will give you motivation. So that's peer interaction we find is very important. Similarly, the repeated intervention by the expert is also very important, and the expert is making assessment how you are going, to what extent you are able to adapt to the style, what are your actual limitations in your city life or in your work life. And it is not an idealistic solution, you just prescribe this thing, but it is something which is very practical for you. So we are, if you really say so, we are bringing natural living into your home and in a very practical manner. Similarly, our business model is also different. It is not based on like you go there and then you spend money for like one treatment and 2 treatment, because there is no treatment concept here. So in this case, when you sign up for a year, and after that, how many interactions or interventions are required, there is no separate fees for everything. Now imagine if there is a separate fees for every intervention, then you will try to cut corners. But in this case, you are just paid a lump sum fees, and after that, For example, and this fees is also very affordable. It is only $200 for a person for a year, 200 Singapore dollars. And if it is for a family of 4, then for all 4 of you it is $400. And so the entire year interaction is taken care by this process.